We live in a time of greatly expanded and disseminated information, but not all of this information is true. We need to be cautious as we seek truth and choose sources for that search. We should not consider secular prominence or authority as qualified sources of truth. We should be cautious about relying on information or advice offered by entertainment stars, prominent athletes, or anonymous internet sources. Expertise in one field should not be taken as expertise on truth in other subjects. We should also be cautious about the motivation of the one who provides information. That's why the scriptures warn us against priestcraft. If the source is anonymous or unknown, the information may also be suspect. We should also be cautious about the motivation of the one who provides information. That's why the scriptures warn us against priestcraft.
Travis Wayne Goodsoe, I see that Oaks is pissed that he's mentally retarded. And that I caught him because he did a video exposing he's got tardive dyskinesia, that he's taking psychotropic drugs, seeing a psychiatrist to prescribe it for him. So, church news video from yesterday. They snuck it in after I did my church news video. And it is about psychology. And so today's videos are based upon psychology because of Oaks and his Sunday's video on Don't Fear the Reaper, Mormons, you're all gonna die, but you'll be resurrected if you're paying your tithing. Just evil. And anyway, we don't want to keep repeating the same information over and over again in every single video, because every single time there's new people who come to this one video for the first time ever. Travis must be brand new. Let's see what he's not spiritually promoting the church. He's a Korah whore. So, Constantine created spiritual witness feelings with homuzion Jesus 1700 years ago this year in August. Pope has got double pneumonia, and so he's on his deathbed. He dared to tell Trump that Trump needs to be nice to the poor and the afflicted, the sick and the needy that I put out of order. The immigrants and the refugees and undocumented. Leave them alone, Trump. And so now all of a sudden he has double pneumonia? Oh my God. Just a coincidence. I'm sure we ain't got no angels and demons thing going on here. No conclave necessary. Even though the movie Conclave just came out. And chaos ensues for the Catholic Church. But the Catholic Church is merely a branch off of the original Constantine Christianity. So are all of the orthodoxies as well as all of the Protestant Reformationists branch offs, fulfilling the Nebuchadnezzar dream of the idol statue god that Daniel interpreted. Christianity is the iron feet mingled with clay that shatters. Ta-da! And so Mormons therefore say, we're the one true Christian church. You don't know how to read and understand what you read, do you, Mormons? Jewish, not the same religion. And so what Constantine did was psychologically manipulate people through spiritual witness feelings and based on lies. Telling the people who are illiterate and are not given access to the text data, they have to go to church and listen to the pastor preach the sermons and hope that they follow the scriptures. The Catholics would eventually come out with their red font Words of Jesus book. But yeah, we all know the Catholic Church ain't true because of what the priests do to little boys. That is the consequences of abstinence only. Right, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? And the Boy Scouts of America, which are no longer called Boy Scouts of America, it's now Scouting America. Wrong time to be changing the name, guys. Should have done it under Biden. But nonetheless, the Enlightenment period happened, which then led to the Protestant Reformation, because the Bible was produced in print as people then began to learn to read and understand what they read, and went, hey, this ain't what the church has been telling us. They lied to us. Then you got Luther, who posts his complaints on the door. And then he died, and then people decided to form the Lutheran Church, etc., etc. But the Protestant Reformation, or the Enlightenment period, was when they found Greek documents that the Christian church had been covering up and hiding from people, because it showed that Constantine's creation was complete and utter fraud. As you have the real psychology of Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, and so you have the Socratic methodology for scientific development to run tests to establish factual, truthful information, true knowledge, that the Christian church covered up and hid and redefined words from the Bible so that faith only is the way to God without the consequences. Because if you produce the consequences, like I just demonstrated for you, you'd know they're false. And so yeah, Christians are in denial that they're the feet of iron mingled with clay. Well, who is it then? If Rome is the iron legs, who then is next? Hello? Hello? Can't be Islam, because Islam is Babylon, not Rome. Nonetheless, despite this denialism that permeates our whole world cultures of over 4 billion, who are suckered and losered into all this, science began to reemerge. And of course the Catholic Church was right on the front lines to murder all scientists. Burn them at the stake as a witch. name calling to justify the abuse and the crimes and the murders. Sound familiar, Mormons? Who call anti-Mormon, antichrist, apostate, Korah whores, anti-Mormon, apostate, Korah whores. Yep. And then you claim victim. We're the victims, religious freedom. And so, all of these are Constantine's creation of psychology without calling it psychology. These are the same exact patterns that would emerge in the 1800s as the neo-psychology to overthrow the restoration of science. And so you get these not quite designated psychologists entering into scientific fields and creating the Big Bang and the theory of evolution, that we all came from monkeys. No, Travis, it's chimpanzees. There's a difference. Because you created the difference, you dumbass. And so other abominations were threatening the revival of real science from the Greeks. But they still were ineffective for the most part, as science slowly began to take hold, more so than those who were seeking to destroy it. But I was able to decipher Paleo-Hebrew by just walking into it, realizing that William Foxwell Albright was a dumbass. Oh my God. But once you use science, you can expose truth from error. That's the scriptural process of testing false prophets. Agronomy. And so that's how I was taught. So I walked right into the field, followed the scriptural teachings on how to test for truth that science also taught me, and boom, deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. And now I'm an enemy of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who I see are up to no good again because Oakes is pissed that he's mentally retarded. You can't keep this a secret if you're going to be on a video and you're shaking. Your fault. You did the video. You're to blame. Don't be blaming me and trying to have me assassinated again because you failed. Following the same pattern of practice, you guys just will not stop and leave me alone, will ya? You are wrong. You are liars. You are seeking to harm this people and to destroy America. Give it up. It's over. You're caught. Hand it over to a real religious leader who will save these Mormons, and you won't do it. The Strengthening Church Members Committee instead think they're the Knights Templar for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, when I am the Holy Grail, you dumbasses. So, you then get to 1900. Evangelicals want to overthrow the First Amendment. No freedom of anything for the rest of the nation. It's going to be evangelical nation. And so they get a case that goes before the Supreme Court of the United States, in which they demand to have the Bible taught as literal history. Remember that first creed of Christianity? To be forced in all the public school systems across the nation. The Supreme Court said no. Evangelicals were pissed and furious that the United States refused to turn America evangelical in violation of the First Amendment. And so they went on a campaign thereafter of idol worship. That's a sin. That's okay. That's evil. That's good. Etc., etc. Designating what's right and what's wrong, what's good and what's bad, what is righteous and what is evil. Idol worship. Making a list of objects. And among those was porn, which they created a new definition for, because the original definition is prostitution, which comes from priestcraft. Right, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? The Jews called it the abomination of desolation, altering the temple rituals and prostituting women. The Romans began the practice of prostituting men also. Right, Mormon women who work and pay tithing to the church for their husband? Exact same pattern match. This church does not do any good. They do not say anything true. Run the test. And so in 1923, Heber J. Grant files articles of incorporation for a non-existent religion that was dissolved by the United States of America. Hilarious. And they became more evangelical because of this. Evangelicals were starting to rise up in the nation with their wrath and fury. They were beginning to enter into science fields again, to destroy science, to try to go through science, which is being taught in the public school system. See what they're doing now? They were denied getting the Bible in, so instead, evangelicals were entering into the various science courses, science fields, to rewrite the science books for the public school systems, to destroy science, to send America into the Dark Ages again. And so the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, still being exclusive here in the Valley of Utah, by picking up on that, they were about to branch out again among the world, and they chose Christianity because there's a greater number of Christians that would be more likely to join the church, as Heber J. Grant removed the Articles of Faith, or the Lectures on Faith, from Joseph Smith's 1835 edition. And I began covering up church history to make it literal history, like the First Creed of Christianity, which Brigham Young already set that tone and pattern for. Heber J. Grant just made it more Christian. And so in the state of Utah, they're in charge of everything here. And so the schools in Utah, likewise, began to be tampered with through the scientific fields. BYU, where you can get a psychological education to replace science, to destroy knowledge and truth. And so there's more that is involved: family services and conversion therapy in World War II, Nazi Germany, being done here in Utah, etc., etc., etc. But this is what was going on. And so in all science fields in the 1900s, you're getting Christians who are going in and destroying the sciences with the wrong scientific process, contrary to their own scriptures. Matthew chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7. And so the church lately has been trying to prove the church is true. And so they get BYU to do studies about how paying your tithing and going to church is better for your life. Strengthens your marriage. And other crap that the news picks up in locally. Oh, latest study says that paying your tithing and attending church and the temple lives long, and you have a longer life and you're happier. Your family is strengthened. That is not news. It's using the local news as a propaganda tool that the Russians did, and the Nazis did, and China does. The enemy nations do. So, in the state of Utah, lately, psychology is getting exposed. Psychologists are going to prison. Psychologists are getting sued for abuse. Treatment centers are getting shut down. This is a major scandal that is blowing up in Utah. The news wants to cover it up to protect the church and family services. And so they only cover it, and then the church tells them to shut up. And so the church will hold lectures at BYU or wherever by people specifically assigned to support and defend the church, as they want Mormons to believe. And so whenever they're on a porn kick, yeah, they get people that talk about how evil porn is. Women need to cover up and hide. You're evil. Your bodies are harmful to kids. It's going to murder everybody. You women. Not men. Women have no problem seeing men naked. They can handle it. They're mature. But just like on Castle. So sick and wrong. But yeah, and so attacking porn idols, the church is denying the science of our biological sexual natures. They don't want you to know the truth of science, so that you can understand the Book of Mormon correctly when it says the natural man is an enemy to God. They want you to believe that looking upon a woman means you're evil. And you need conversion therapy to no longer desire a woman. Oh, it's just for gays? Is it? Are we sure? That was just stopped in 2021, and the church was pissed. And so, in the church news last night, the church specifically got psychology professor, call her doctor. Do they? Do we call her doctor? They're not calling her doctor. Did she not get a PhD? I'm pretty sure she did. Maybe it's just a master's. To speak about how Religion bolsters the ability to thrive through a spiritual health crisis. Really, what would be a spiritual health crisis? When you realize that the church is false? And that they betrayed you and stole your money? And were abusing you? That spiritual health crisis? The church has already been indoctrinating little kids in primary about this. If by chance you meet a frown, do not let it stay. Quickly turn it upside down and smile that frown away. This is what it is. This big-time psychologist professor is giving you smile that frown away. Dumbass! Revoke her degree and her license. Dear God. When you run the test on the scriptures, you know the difference between a con artist and truth. You're supposed to mourn with those who mourn. God. Just evil, but it gets worse. And so, it's a Marjorie Pay Hinckley lecture. And now listen to her distraction for you, for her audience. It's no secret that mental health is a hot topic. This could be Caitlin Bancroft who's reporting this. Naughty girl, Caitlin. So, hot topic. I already told you why it's a hot topic. It's criminal. It's abusive. It's falsehoods. It's murder to get gain. It's priestcraft when done by a religion. And Oakes has a lot of things to say about not trusting certain people for certain topics, such as priestcraft. And we're using him from that talk again. News outlets report frequently on subjects such as, pay attention to what she's going to miss. I already covered what she should have covered as to why it's a hot topic. Adolescent mental health, the impact of technology on well-being, and other related issues. Religion has been doing the same attack for decades. When photography came out, evangelicals were right there to say porn. When the record player came out, porn. 8-tracks, porn, cassette tapes, porn, CDs, porn, music, digital, online, porn. And likewise with movies, moving pictures, porn, magazines, porn. VHS tapes, the beat out beta, porn. DVDs, porn, Blu-ray, porn, online streaming, porn, digital, porn, games, porn. They're all harmful to children. This has been a Christian attack forever. Because they don't believe their Bible. They don't believe Matthew chapter 7. They are full-on idol worshipers, trying to take away the agency of others who aren't even their religion. Right, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Dear God. And so no, technology is not evil. It's how you use it. Through precepts. Christians use technology for evil. Christians use the media, whether it's music, whether it's movies and TV or games, for evil. To destroy science, to destroy truth, to send us all back into the dark ages. They're the evil. They're pulling a beam and moat to a massive degree. And the church welcomes her in. Now, is she Mormon? You'd think so, since it's Marjorie Pay Hinckley lecture. Why would you have some other religion talking to Mormons? Pamela Epstein King is her name. And she was ordained the church is clueless what they let in as a Trojan horse. That was brilliant. In the Presbyterian Church. Oh my God, hilarious. So yeah, she's got a huge online presence and social media and website and books and all this crap. The church is thinking they're going to use her to convince Mormons of the truth. And she's not only a powder keg of psychology, destroying science, destroying truth, but she's Presbyterian. That doesn't believe the Book of Mormon is true. She's not talking about Mormon spirituality. She's talking about Presbyterian spirituality helps thrive. It was Karl Marx who said that religion is the opiate of the masses because you can brainwash people with it. And she's using Karl Marx's claim as a psychologist. But on top of that, she's ordained in her Presbyterian faith. Never would a woman in the Mormon church be ordained. Oh my God. I can just see it now. Women going up to her, Mormon women going up to her, shaking her hand. Oh, that was so inspiring. You're so special. Yeah, I'm ordained in the Presbyterian church. Oh, ordained. I gotta go. Thank you. And so the Presbyterians have their own BYU. She didn't go to a normal school. It's not a real education. She's a fraud. Her credentials are crap. She went to the Fuller Theological Seminary for Presbyterianism. This is about as laughable as the church taking Islamic refugees, forcing them to become Mormon in order to give them aid in Utah. And then Islamic women tell the church, oh, our hijab is cultural. And so they go to the work where the church has Mormons wearing their Islamic hijab for the sexual abuse of their religion, as Mormon women wear the underwear. This is too much. Oh my God. If you're gonna be evil, the law of Purim kicks in. Oh my God, just hilarious.